Apple launched the iPad Pro nearly 10 years ago, and for that entire time, it's been a product that's kind of been searching for a purpose. It's had over-the-top, amazing hardware, and sort of lackluster, limiting, and underwhelming software. But in a few weeks, Apple is set to release iPadOS 26 to the entire public, and it's going to change how people view the iPad moving forward, and it's going to truly, finally answer that question, what is a computer? So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the disappointment of what the iPad Pro has been over the last 10 years, but then talk about iPadOS 26 and how it's going to change the iPad for better moving forward and make it a lot more computer-like, and then finally talk about how the M5 chip is going to really revolutionize the iPad Pro and make the iPad Pro the favorite buy moving forward. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before we continue, if you do enjoy videos like this one and you want to get ready for Apple's event coming on September 9th, definitely consider subscribing to the channel because we'll be keeping you up to date on all things Apple moving forward. But now let's talk a little bit about the iPad Pro prior to iPadOS 26. So back when Apple released the original 12.9-inch iPad Pro, everybody kind of thought that Apple was crazy. They were charging an exorbitant amount for an iPad that was weirdly gigantic, especially when you consider that it had a forehead, it had the chin, it had the home button, the larger bezels. This thing was basically a tray when you really pulled it out. I used it for a little while back in 2016, 2017, and I liked the idea of it because I started to notice the power of the iPad Pro and how efficient it was from a battery life perspective, from a performance perspective, and as long as you had the correct apps, and again, albeit back then the apps were way less robust and the amount of apps that we had to choose from were way less, but still, the apps that did work, like the LumaFusions of the world, worked amazingly, and you started to think to yourself, wow, this super thin iPad can do pretty much what these MacBook Airs are doing on the Intel side. Why not try to make the iPad your main computer? And ever since that moment, it's been this cat and mouse game of Apple giving us a little bit more from a hardware perspective to kind of entice us to stick around on the iPad Pro, but not giving us enough on the operating system side to really justify it and make it an iPad or a computer replacement for everybody in the masses, and not just for those niche use cases like myself where I just enjoyed the iPad Pro so much that I was willing to deal with some of those kind of annoyances that came with running iPadOS. So first came the 2018 redesign. Apple got rid of the home button, brought in Face ID, went industrial, got the 12.9-inch display to be amazing, introduced ProMotion, which is something that still is around, introduced ProMotion, which is something that's still around on all iPad Pros and really kind of differentiates between Pro and Air, and then they also split up iOS and iPadOS. iPadOS became its own software, it started to look a little bit different, feel a little bit different, and give us not really a desktop class experience, but at least something to mimic and change up the feel of iPhone to iPad. And then Apple put the M1 chip in the iPad Pro. We began to think like, hey, Apple's putting an M1 processor in here, which is the same thing in that brand new MacBook Air, which is insanely powerful. The desktop and macOS kind of class browsing and experience has to be coming to the iPad, right? Actually, it still was not coming to the iPad, iPadOS. If anything, the iPadOS experience got a little bit worse because they got rid of my favorite feature, the Today View, and it just made it even more so of a larger iPhone, but albeit a very fast iPhone. And then Apple introduced the cursor support and the Magic Keyboard, so now physically it's looking more and more like a laptop, a unique one at that with the new double hinge design and the floating cantilever design, but still, trackpad support, something that was unheard of on the iPad before. And then of course the keyboard experience as well made it feel like a laptop finally, at least physically. And then through those years up until the M4 iPad Pro, they added a few more small things, but with the M4 iPad Pro, they redesigned it again, made it ultra slim at 5.1 millimeters, gave us a new Magic Keyboard made out of aluminum, so made it feel even more so like a laptop, made the trackpad even bigger. So again, all these things physically made it look and feel like an actual computer, but it was still an iPad. And that's why most people just gravitated to the iPad Air. The iPad Air was much cheaper, gave you 100% of the same experience from an iPadOS perspective, and the hardware, yes, was a little bit quote-unquote worse, but at the end of the day, it was still a great iPad for what you wanted it to be, which was for web browsing, content consumption, maybe some light emailing, some light word processing, and it still had its own Magic Keyboard version. But iPadOS 26 is that turning point. iPadOS 26, once you get it in your hands, it's going to be a new experience for your iPad. And now, yes, if you want to keep the traditional iPad way and you aren't somebody who's trying to replace your computer, there are ways to do that in the windowing system and turning that off and the multitasking. But at the end of the day, the iPad can now be your computer if you want it to be because of iPadOS 26. You have the new windowing system, which mimics the windowing system of macOS, with your traffic light design of the red, yellow, and green to be able to control and manage those windows. You have a complete overhaul of the Files app. The Files app feels and acts like the Finder app in Mac finally, which is a big thing that was missing from the previous version of iPadOS. It was just too clunky, it didn't work the way that I wanted it to. And of course you have the menu bar on all the different applications, or the taskbar again, to make it feel a lot more macOS-like. So again, all these things and those little things that we needed, the windowing, the infinite canvas, the file system, those are things that are coming to iPadOS 26 that immediately make it feel like a Mac. And the beautiful thing about iPadOS 26 is that it's bringing all the amazing things from a multitasking and productivity perspective from macOS, but it's also keeping the essence of the iPad, the touch-first interface. All the touch targets are made to be a little bit larger because you are supposedly supposed to use your finger first and foremost as your main form of interaction, even though of course I use it with a Magic Keyboard 99% of the time. But even little things like the new cursor. The cursor is no longer that circle, it's more of a pointer cursor to get more precise movement. If you wiggle the cursor, it'll enlarge the same way that it does on macOS when you lose the cursor or lose sight of it on a display or on your monitor. So a lot of the good things are coming to macOS, but it's still an iPad giving you access to the App Store. You can still pull it off your Magic Keyboard and it can be treated as a tablet. It still works amazingly with your Apple Pencil or Pencil Pro or whichever Apple Pencil you use. So in my opinion, the iPad Pro is the most versatile computer that's on the market today. And then you have the looming M5 iPad Pro. The M5 chip will make its debut on the M5 iPad Pro, which is going to give us a bunch more on here, because even with iPadOS 26, because you could still argue even with iPadOS 26 that the iPad Air could be a better overall value because it is much cheaper, about 40% cheaper, and you get about 95% of the experience. The only thing you're not getting is the premium hardware, but you're getting all the iPadOS 26 goodies. But with the M5 chip, this is where it's going to make it so people are going to want to get the iPad Pro over the iPad Air. You're going to get more RAM with the M5 standard, anywhere from 16 to 24 gigs of RAM standard, giving you more apps, allowing you to run more apps, more multitasking, heavier workflows, and just making it easier to navigate and use more with the M5 iPad Pro. There are rumors that we're going to get some dual front-facing cameras for better video calls and a new version of Center Stage, and it's still going to have that amazing hardware being 5.1mm thin and giving us that tandem OLED display, which is second to none with ProMotion. Again, if you've ever used ProMotion, it's almost impossible to go back to a non-ProMotion device. So if you are using an Air right now, I highly recommend going to an Apple store and trying out an iPad Pro side by side to see what the differences are. But that Air versus Pro dilemma will always kind of be around, because I believe that the iPad Air is there as a kind of version to give you a lot of the experience of the highest end, so about 95% of the experience like I mentioned, but with much less hardware in terms of the quality of hardware. It's still a great device, it still kind of looks the same, and for most people, if you're holding an iPad Pro and an iPad Air side by side, they look like the same. Obviously, the iPad Air now also has a 13-inch version, so you no longer have to go Pro if you want to get a larger display. But I'm telling you, with the M5 iPad Pro, when that one comes out, that one alone will be enough to gravitate people towards the iPad Pro, because iPadOS 26 now makes it feel like a real computer and it can get a lot more done from a multitasking perspective on an iPad. So getting the M5 version to future-proof yourself with people getting an iPad for the idea for it to replace your computer is going to make people want to gravitate towards the iPad Pro versus the iPad Air. The iPad Air will still be good enough, it'll still be able to run iPadOS 26, and it will still be kind of like your almost everything machine, but for people that have heavier workflows and heavier workloads, as well as want to do much more from a multitasking perspective, the iPad Pro is going to be the way to go moving forward. So my final thoughts on this is that the iPad Pro has always had fantastic hardware, dating back to the 2018 days when they introduced that new design, which made me fall in love with the iPad, and it's the whole reason why I ended up getting into the iPad content creation space. So I owe everything to that 2018 iPad Pro. But now, instead of me having to try to convince people, because that's what it was, I tried to convince people that the iPad Pro was enough to be your computer, iPadOS 26 is going to change that, because now it is enough to be your computer. Now it can do mostly everything. There's a couple things that are still missing from iPadOS, like Xcode and terminal access, but those are a dime a dozen, and you know who you are if you need those things in your life, and you're going to have to gravitate towards a Mac. But outside of that, for 9 out of 10 people, the iPad Pro with iPadOS 26 is going to be more than enough computer for you to get everything that you need to get done, which for me is exactly what I wanted. We're going to see a lot more iPad Pros on college campuses moving forward, and instead of seeing that classic silver Mac back in a college campus, you're going to be seeing the iPad Pro. But let me know what you think with a comment down below. Are you excited for iPadOS 26? Have you been trying the beta software? Are you going to install it on your main iPad? Are you going to try to use your iPad as a computer moving forward? Always curious to know what your thoughts are and what your relationship is with the iPad. But that'll do it for this video. If you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. Get subscribed because we got a lot of content coming for September 9th, the odd dropping event. And if you want to watch more videos leading up to that, like what to expect about a new Apple Watch, click on one of these videos right here. Or if you want to see hands-on with the iPhone 17 Air, click on this one right here. Until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace.